Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Be Europe show. I'm Harry.
And I am Laura from Eurodesk, and we are very thrilled to be here again for the second episode of our show, which today will take us on a virtual journey through Romania. So, you know, Harry, that I've been already once in Romania. You didn't know? Yeah, specifically, I've been for an Erasmus Plus project. So I had the chance to visit Bucharest, which is the capital of the country. And I've spent my time in Craiova, which is a smaller university town. And while I was there, I had even the opportunity to taste the traditional food, which is called sarmale. I wish I pronounced it in the correct way, which of course is the Romanian cabbage rolls.
I've never been to Romania myself now personally, but it's very popular thanks to a story, I suppose, that everyone knows, which is the most famous vampire, Dracula. And the myth actually started in Romania with Count Dracula, who was the real Romanian ruler, and his name was Vlad Tepes. You can even visit the castle where he lived. It's quite interesting. It's called Bran Castle for anyone who's looking for a trip.
Yeah, exactly. That's on my list to do for the future. Perhaps the very fact of being afraid of vampires and the dark explains probably why Romania was the first European country to have electricity street lights, in Timișoara specifically, the first electricity street lights. But most exciting of all is the Untold Festival, which takes place every summer in Cluj-Napoca. I'm sure I said it very bad. I'm sure. Sorry in advance. And this is the largest electronic music festival held in Romania. And it was designated as the best major festival in the European Festival Award in 2015.
We'll have to go sometime. But I think
Definitely.
For now, we'll have to end our virtual tour of Romania and let's find out who the Romanians are with our first guest. I'm delighted to welcome Andreea. Andreea,
yeah. Here it is.
Hello. How are you? Bună!
Hi.
Hi, Andreea. Super excited. We love that.
Yeah,
yes, it's a pleasure for me to see you and to be here.
Welcome.
Hopefully our facts about Romania were okay. I think the Dracula story is the most interesting for me, but I'm not sure if I'd be brave enough to go and visit the castle.
Oh, come on. It's like, wow, the castle is impressive. And the story, like, more impressive.
More impressive indeed. Andreea, I think we have to start by asking you to just tell us a bit about yourself and who you are and what you're about, I suppose.
So hi guys, my name is Andreea. I'm from Romania. In case you don't know where is Romania, it's kind of a fish if you are looking on the map. We're not eating so much fish, just to know. So I'm a young person and I love to travel, and I'm looking after a lot of opportunities such as youth exchange, training course, conferences. I'm kind of a pirate is looking after his treasure.
Exactly.
And can you tell us a little bit about your work, I suppose? Tell us, for those listening, what you're working on at the moment.
I'm a teacher one-to-one. I'm working with kids with special needs in a private school, in a British school. But in my free time, I'm a volunteer. I'm working with kids, but also I'm working with a national agency, and I'm one European.
Brilliant. No, it's really interesting.
Andreea, we know that you had a 2-month volunteer internship in your past experiences. So we know that you made many experiences about volunteering, but specifically we would like to talk about these 2 months that you had. Why did you choose to be a volunteer? Why did you choose this option in particular? And any other EU project that you have participated, if you would like to talk to us about, and tell to the other people listening, how can they follow your example?
Well, after I finished my high school, so we had the big exam back, and I graduated, and I was thinking, like, what should I do 2 months? Because I wanted to sign up for university, and I had just 2 months. What should I do? And I was looking after some opportunities on internet, and I found on Facebook something like, do you want to have a summer holiday in Turkey? You're gonna be a volunteer there. You're gonna work with kids. These kind of things, like blowing. I was like, yeah, sure. Why not, man? I'm gonna be there. Yeah, I just spoke with the agency with the association from Craiova, by the way, and I
Yeah, I
told
think
them
it's
I was
connected.
no, yeah, yeah. And I told them that I'm from Romania and I would like to join in their project. And they told me that it's about refugees. And they asked me, what do I know? What is a refugee? Do I have work? I work with them, and I said no. I just remember that I don't know what means a refugee. I don't know what means a war. I just know from the history classes. That's all I know. And like, why not? I'm gonna try. Come on, what can be so hard? So I just jumped in the plane and arrived in Turkey, where there for 2 months I was working with refugees, helping them to prepare their CV, to apply for scholarship, but also we had kitchens where we prepared every day the food for them.
Very impactful. And everything started from social media. If you think about it, like you really were scrolling in your lazy time on your phone, and then you found this opportunity. So you really suggest using social media to young people if they are interested in finding new opportunities. This is an advice from you that we can share.
Yes, definitely. They can find a lot of opportunities. But for my experience, for example, when I was in Ecuador, there the people from Ecuador, they didn't have a lot of access to the information or social media, so they couldn't find these opportunities. So I can say that being European is more helpful for us to get the information easier. If you're from another continent, it's really hard to access it.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're all about here on the Be Europe show, is obviously to promote that access to information and the availability that you can have at the touch of your fingertips to find out about all those amazing opportunities. And you've spoken about so many opportunities you've had there, and the chance to travel, I suppose, to gain a bigger view of the world. How important do you think it is for other young people to go and do that, to learn from the experience of being away and visiting a new country, and I suppose meeting new people and experiencing different cultures?
Well, I like to say that traveling is like a map, a 3D map, where you can touch, you can feel, and you can taste. Not just touching the people, speaking with them. Doesn't matter that, for example, in Turkey, I had a big problem with language. I didn't know it English. They didn't know it neither English. I didn't know Turkish. Was a great job. What can I say there? But what I've learned that body language always can be
Can help you.
perfect. Yeah, exactly. And traveling is just giving you the freedom to know better than in just a book or just staying in your country. It's giving you the opportunity to see other cultures. Like you're gonna be there, like in a game. Actually, you're gonna control by yourself with the others around to you.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think you're right. It's you can't fully experience somewhere until you go and feel it and touch it and experience the culture and taste the food and smell the smells. I think it's a really good point. And I suppose if you had to pick one big learning experience for you while you're away, what would that be? Is it the embracing of the cultures, or is it the languages, or what is it?
I would like I like to say that are the languages, because right now I'm studying Turkish, Arabic, and French, just
Wow.
because I know. And I'm gonna start Spanish also, because it's really easy. Like, we are traveling and you just keep hearing the words and you just make connection with other languages, and it's really easy. And now I would like just to make clear in my mind that I can have a proper conversation if I'm going in a country and they are speaking that language.
That's very ambitious from your side, all these languages at the same time. But yeah, I'm sure you will manage and you will learn them. And yeah, I mean, of course, we are talking about communication, and let's talk about communication tools in particular. Of course, you mentioned already that your experiences and the opportunities that you had the chance to live, they came up through social media. So you were aware of them, of their existence, because of social media. So how would you consider the role of social media for mobilization as mobilization tool?
We, well, so social media, in my point of view, has two parts: the good part and the bad part. The good part is that it's giving us a lot of opportunities, a lot of information, but also we should just be smart and to take care, like, okay, this is information, but we should check it just to make sure that it's correct. Is it real? And we're not gonna have problems. When I'm saying problems, I'm just thinking like maybe we can harm somebody and we don't know. Yeah. I'm speaking here maybe about bullying, about cyber attacks. Like, for example, we are receiving a mail, it goes in spam, and after we just click in it and say, "Oh, cool, let's see what we're gonna win!" Haha. And actually, we're gonna disappear some information from our computers, and we're not gonna be really happy with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we live in an age of disinformation and misinformation, and it's so powerful that people, unfortunately, now, as you said, the internet is such a powerful tool, and that gives people dangerous power as well to mislead. And social media is such a great tool, and I know you've mentioned this on a couple of occasions now in the conversation about using social media to find these opportunities. Can you maybe tell us? I suppose Facebook was something that you mentioned, but whereabouts do you go, or did you go, to find those opportunities? Where were your go-to platforms?
Every time I use Facebook because it's really easy. And I was going, and right now I'm going also on Facebook groups like Erasmus Plus opportunities, Europe opportunities, America, these kind of things. And I just find people or organizations that they are posting in that groups. But for example, if I don't have a common friend with that person or with that organization, I'm not gonna apply. Just look after some information.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's finding the channels where you can get the most valuable information and taking advantage of those.
And do you think people rely more, as I mean, people like you, the young people looking for opportunities abroad, do they rely more on social media or more on the like networking, or someone who already had this experience and that they trust more than social media, for example, or that Facebook group? What is your evaluation about that? Like, what do you think people rely most on?
Well, I think more that the people goes directly to a person, not to a post. But when it comes to a person to find out about an opportunity, yeah, directly they were gonna go on a post. But after they're gonna keep looking after some person
Real,
behind that post,
yeah.
yeah, just to take in to be in touch and put some questions.
Exactly. Still talking about social media. I mean, of course, now we are living in a situation where we are all experiencing a lot of fake news when we scroll on our own pages. And what is your experience on that? And do you have any example that you want to share on how you are managing the to distinguish the fake news from the truth one?
Well, I go directly. So if I see something, yeah, we have like close to my country, to Romania, it's happening something. Maybe you know, is a war, and what
Unfortunately, we
I'm
are all aware of this at the moment. So,
what I'm doing, if I see something, I'm going directly on official pages, like just to make sure that information is real, because there are thousands of informations, fake ones, and just make us like crazy, like, wow, what will gonna happen, this kind of things. And I don't want to get scared, so I'm getting the information directly from the official sites.
Yeah,
okay.
So
and
this is the way I'm encouraging you also.
yeah, I think everyone has to check their sources. And as you said, unfortunately, at the moment there is a war. It's happening very close to us all, and we have to be aware of the information that we're consuming around that war, because it is also a war of misinformation. And there's certain people with certain thoughts and ideas that they're trying to share that unfortunately aren't true. So people need to make sure that they're getting their news and their information from the right places. But I think, to a positive note, and I suppose one that we're asking all of our guests, obviously because this is the Be Europe podcast, we want to know, Andreea, what does it mean to be a young person in Europe? What do you think it means to be a young European today?
I think means freedom, means a big family, wherever you go, wherever you travel, you're gonna find a family that knows to share with you and knows to exchange. I think this means Europe.
And about the thing that you mentioned about the information accessibility, that you notice a difference between the Ecuadorian people that are not of course living in Europe environment, in European environment, and you notice that there is a difference of them accessing information, news, and also opportunities, program, funds, learning programs, etc. So I mean, the good part of living in Europe, you already experienced that in your own skin, let's say. So you took all the opportunities that you can, you live them, you experience them, and now you are spreading the word out and telling other people, hey, do it like I did. Just go on internet, and you will find plenty of opportunities just waiting for you. This is the good thing, but there are many other, for example, that you have lived, experience, and that maybe you want to share with other young people listening to us, like other benefits of being a European, of course, beside of the opportunities that are waiting for you and that you had the chance to live.
Well, a good example, we're gonna be like, because I have the passport of Union European, I can go wherever I want without no one asking me.
Exactly.
I was in Turkey, and one guy came from Ethiopia, and he had like big problems than me, like keep looking in his passport, and he was really fine with visa like me. But I had like for 10 seconds, and he was staying like for 2 hours there in the airport. So these
are the small things that we probably don't notice anymore because, of course, we are used to that. But if we compare it to other people that do not have this benefit, we really see a big difference in that. And especially for young people, imagine, for example, when they go with the train on Discovery EU, with the Interrail, and they go all around Europe. They don't need to show anything to anyone. They just go like it's the same country, let's say. And that's really a big benefit for young people, and especially if they want to go and volunteer somewhere. You don't need to go all over bureaucratic procedures. You don't need to present and ask to the embassy or to the commune or to the municipality many documents. You just go, apply, and that's it. And really, that's it. Everything happens online, but just between you and the organization, nobody else involved. And that's a big benefit because it makes things faster, easier to understand as well, because to go to bureaucratic stuff, you need to be smart. For me, for example, I never understand how bureaucratic stuff work. So I always make a mistake. I always forget a paper to print, to bring it somewhere. So this is a big benefit for me as well. So yeah, that's great that you are also experiencing that. But what do you think people in Romania, young people especially, how do they see Europe? Do they like Europe as much as you, or do you see that some people not really pro-European, let's say?
Well, when it comes about opportunities, I'm speaking right now because I promote opportunities like Erasmus on my social media, and I found people. I'm saying people because they were also like their parents, but also youth, and they were like, okay, why should I go there? Why should I do this? Because I like here, I like to work. Why should I travel and go somewhere to learn something? I mean, with this mentality. And I was like, yeah, it's true. I was like you, actually. I was like you. Why should I go? Why should I care about that country and these kind of things? And I'm saying, what, for example, you just take 3 days from your life and you're not gonna work, and you just think, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna go on a course on IT, and just take a chance what will gonna happen? You're gonna lose just 3 days. It's something like you are staying on your TikTok and you're losing more than 3 days, trust me.
For sure.
He said, yeah, why not? Okay, just 3 days. And he went, I still remember, he went in Portugal, and he was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I want to go. And after he finished that, all the village, they found out that it is awesome to travel and to access informations. And they really tasted what it means to be an European.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's interesting. I think it's the time, trying to find the time. Everybody comes up with excuses, but as you said, we all spend so much time flicking on our smartphones, scrolling through information, and we waste a lot of valuable time that we could be spending doing other things like gathering experiences and traveling around and seeing new things, experiencing new cultures. And I think you've spoken a lot about that, about the idea of really embracing a new country and getting to know the people, getting to experience the culture and learn the languages. So the benefits are there. It's very clear, and hopefully more people after listening to our conversation will realize that, you know what, let's take a couple of days and let's go and see a new place. I know you're part of the Europeers Romania network. Can you tell people who are listening who won't necessarily be quite familiar with that, what exactly you guys do?
So Europeers came first time in Germany in 2005, and in Romania came in last year, and I'm part of the first generation. Right now we are first generation and the second generation. We are 30 people, young people. What we really are doing in Europeers, I like to say, every time when I have a presentation in a high school or an association, I like to say that I am like an airport. If you've never been in an airport, I'm going to tell you right now what's going to happen. So I'm the building, and you guys, you are the planes. You are just piloting your plane, your own dream. And you're just coming to me, landing to my airport. And you're coming to me with some questions like, what means a youth exchange? What means a training course? What means European Solidarity Corps? How I should make my bag? From where should I take a ticket plane? And these kind of things. I'm just answering to these questions. And after this, I'm just saying, bye-bye, safe trip. And they're just leaving in a direction that they want to go.
So, Andreea, you are like Google. People ask questions to you and you give all the information that they want.
But it's like peer-to-peer. So because I had my experience in this kind of projects, it's more easy just to give from my experience. Because I have background, it's really easy just to give them the informations that they need.
Sorry, just I have a question that just comes in my mind. What are the most popular questions that people ask you, like young people are, what are they concerned about? What is the most frequent question that you get?
Why it's free?
Okay, that's a good question, actually. Nobody believes that you can really go abroad for free with the European programs.
Exactly. Always they're asking me, like parents, they were calling me like during the night, why it's free? No, it's a joke. I'm not gonna let my kid there. No chance. I was like, okay, let's see. I'm gonna speak with you. Look where I am, where I was. You can just check my page and these kind of things. But also, like, from where can I take a plane? I'm going to the airport, but there, who is gonna help me? They're gonna steal my bag and these kind of things. Who is gonna take my bag? And this kind, like, for us, maybe they're silly, but if I'm still remember first time when I was in my project, my first project, I was looking after my bag. I still remember I was close to me, and the girl from Romania, she was like, Andreea, it's time to let it, please. Now we'll go in the plane. I was like, no, my bag.
Yeah, of course, if you haven't traveled, like these are the first thing that you generally experience, like when you are very, very young, like a children, or maybe your parents tell you, but you have never did such a thing. Of course, when you are 16, 17 or 20, that's your first time doing that. So you have to go through all over these steps. So it's normal that they ask this question. But you mentioned now a lot of time that you have a big experience, a lot of places that you have visited. And we also have a question on the chat about that. So which countries that you visited and what is your favorite?
My second home, I can say, is Turkey, Gaziantep, the place where I've done my EVS, European Soldier Corps right now. Why? Because there I met like really wonderful people who helped me. What I mean to help me is that I didn't know it English and they didn't knew it Romanian. Like, and they were like close to me every day. They were somebody who was telling me something, and I don't know, being far from my home, from my friends, from family was really hard. But being with them after 4 days, I'm not exaggerating, they were like my family. I was like, okay, I'm home. I can do whatever I want with them, and it was great.
Yeah,
that's really interesting. It's funny you didn't even hesitate. You had the answer in your mind already before you were even asked. It just shows how much of an impression I suppose Turkey left on you, because I would have had to have thought about that question for a moment, but you knew straight away. And I think, I suppose, for all of the people you engage with through the Europeers in Romania, is it just the opportunity to share your knowledge that you love? Is it the chance to talk about those experiences and really pass it on to other young people who, as you said, are amazed by the idea that this could be free or this is an opportunity that they could have? I'm interested to know, do you feel almost a responsibility to pass on your experience to other young people?
Yeah. But until Europeans image that I was in the plane, in the bus, and I was keep talking with the people around me, Erasmus is the way, this kind of thing. So now we're with the Europeans, I am like more happy to share this program.
You walk around with a banner talking about EU opportunities all the time. I can imagine.
Yeah.
Andreea, now I'm wondering another thing that we, of course, finally we are going out of COVID, of the pandemic. And how did you live this period where you couldn't travel, couldn't get any opportunity abroad, and people were still coming to you and asking what they can do as they cannot travel, etc. How did you live this situation, this period?
Well, it was really hard. It was really hard. I can say 2 years home. I was like looking after some opportunities also to share, but also to let the youth what I'm doing and what opportunities they can have it on this time. Most of them, they were online, maybe, as you know, and they had like the online school and the online course or youth exchange. They didn't feel it, what means peer-to-peer, to know the others from the other countries. They had like just into a game. Yeah. And it was really hard, but now hopefully we're gonna go away from this situation, and we're gonna travel again, and we'll be face to face with the others.
Yeah, and exactly about that, my next question is about now is the European Year of Youth, and we would like to know what are your plans for this special year in particular, if you are planning to get more involved into your projects or still continue with your Europeans network. I mean, to get to know what are your plans.
Well, this year I wrote a project, a solidarity corps, together with 4 youth friends of mine that we met in a youth exchange in Bulgaria last year, by the way. And we started to write this project to Timișoara, where we're gonna have a summer camp for kids from that area, and we're gonna make with them art, the 7 arts, graffiti, photograph, cooking, poems, and so on. And for 1 year, we're gonna have it like on every month. We're gonna have some activities with them, also outdoors. How can they build a tent? How can they protect the nature? These kind of things. But also this year I'm gonna travel to Brussels for a training course to Europeans in April, and I am really, really happy to be there. And I'm gonna really know the others from the
Yeah, of
network.
course. I mean, me for sure, because I will be here. So definitely, I'm really happy to meet you in person, and especially about the human side. I mean, I imagine that everything is possible because we are finally again able to really share experiences on the real side. So really talk to each other and connect for true. So this is one of the most important thing, I guess, especially when you are talking and sharing experiences that brings people abroad and brings people doing some concrete stuff together. So that's the most important thing. Yeah. So maybe I have a question now, because you mentioned that you drafted, you designed this project. I'm just wondering, for a young person like you are, and maybe some other people has something in mind, they have some project that they think, oh, maybe this can work for people if I bring together people doing this and that. I mean, how do you do something concretely? How do you design a project? Where do you present it? To whom? If you need any knowledge about bureaucratic stuff still, like any advice that you can share about designing a project and then making it real?
Well, I'm gonna say it for my experience right now, because
Exactly, yeah.
I was participating for 3 days in a training course about how you can write a project. What means, like, with calculations, participants, how you can design the timetable, these kind of things. And I can say that wasn't easy. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because this idea with the project came like last year in September, but we actually wrote the project in 1 week. So
That's
wasn't
challenging, really.
No pressure.
no pressure. Yeah, exactly. And I still remember then that Steffi, one of my friends, she was staying until midnight just to send the application, and wasn't impossible. And after, we had big problems. So guys, make sure, if you want to apply for a project, you're gonna write one, just make sure you're not gonna stay till the deadline. Just make sure.
Exactly, that's a good advice. But just a question, and then I promise I finish with this part. But to whom you sent this project?
To the national agency.
Okay, so other people
Yeah.
listening, like if you are interested, yeah, that's where
Okay,
you have to
go
go.
for your national agency. Just write national agency of your country, and you're gonna find there the training course, the application, these kind of things. But also, for if you want to be a volunteer, international one, you can just go on portal Erasmus voluntary, and you can find a lot of things
That's great advice.
there.
And I think a lot of people will be probably on their phones right now trying to figure out what they can do. You probably put people under a lot of pressure, thinking that they have to live up to these very big expectations. I certainly do anyway. But I suppose the last question is, Andreea, and it's a question we're asking all our guests, and I think it's interesting to hear everyone's opinions and everyone's experiences and the advice that you'd give other young people. And this can be very general, it can be very specific to you. And I know you've had a lot of great opportunities and experiences over the years, between your traveling and everything else. So from all of that, all your work and all your experience in travel, what advice would you give other young people who are sitting at home right now, listening in, and want to go and to do what you've done and had the experiences that you've had?
Make sure you have next to you a pencil, a paper, just to note what ideas or what opportunities somebody or you are seeing on internet, just to put it on the paper, and keep looking after these opportunities. Keep smiling, and remember to share, because it's nice.
It's great advice, I
Great
think.
words. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone will love that. I think it's having the pen and paper is a good note to not forget those great ideas and those great nuggets of information that you get along the way. But no, Andreea, that's brilliant, and thank you so much. I think everybody's really benefited from this conversation, and your enthusiasm and energy as well is so inspiring. I think
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but you're amazing. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Andrea,
you.
really, for sharing your story, your experience, and all your knowledge. And I'm sure you are doing it on a daily basis with your Euro peers. And we were lucky to have the chance to be here and listen to what you have to say. So thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you for the invitation. And remember, guys, keep sharing and look after your peers. Cheers.
Thank you, Andrea. And thank you, Ari. So we meet again for the next episode on the 4th of April. So stay tuned, guys, and don't miss the 3rd episode.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.